Hello, this is balancedpyro, and today I'd like to talk about custom enemies. Now, most, actually all campaigns I play in, the only custom enemies are the bosses, where the DM creates them, so because it's hard to look in the monster manuals and find a good boss enemy. But when I DM, I like creating non-boss custom enemies, like whether it's an undead, a group of bandits trying to take your money and valuables. Um, we've actually created a few just recently. Well, not recently, but a while ago. One of them I called a dry skull. I might have talked about this in a previous video. I'm not sure, but it's based off of the Mario villain Dry Bones, which in the Mario game, it was immune to fire attacks. And the reason I made it was because I had a character in my campaign who was a fire Genja, and he did lots of damage with fire attacks. So I made this enemy immune to fire attacks, and when it got destroyed, unless it was killed by a +2 or higher weapon or a force spell, it would come back double. So you killed one, you get two, killed another one, you get two in that place, so now you have three enemies. And the reason why I like doing this is because I'm not the biggest fan of a straight up brawl scenario where let's kill them with high damage as quick as possible. I like to have my players think about what they're doing, think more strategically, and like keep on their toes. Because when they face the dry skulls, they're realizing this is not working because more just keep on popping up. What should we do? And so they tried something different than what they would normally do and got better results. Um, that's the whole point of custom enemies, my point of view. Something like that, whatever. You have to not keep like the generic I'm going to kill everything. I mean, I have some bosses in my campaign where you cannot defeat through combat. Actually, I based one of them off of Dorian Gray. He's the guy who, if you ever read those old, like, Tom Sawyer era 20,000 Leagues Under Sea novels, where he had a picture painted of himself, and that holds his life. And so he cannot die unless he looks at the picture. And in my campaign, um, he's not going to be a boss. He's just going to be an encounter. He was like, "You're trying to kill this person. I do not want you to." And he depends if it goes, he will attack you. And eventually, my players realize, or they should realize, that their attacks are doing nothing against them, and they should try to figure out why. And if they do, they're going to come across the picture, like the painting, that's the only way to kill him, and they're going to have to do a side quest to find it in order to defeat him. Now, I like those kind of scenarios better than just brute force because it's a different take on combat for me. Because you can't just attack him with your swords, bows, spells. You need to actually force him to take a look at the painting, and then he will die. Which is very different because that usually probably involves a grapple attempt to force him to look at the picture, or diplomacy or bluff to trick him into looking at the picture, which is pretty cool. Um, my other DM and I came up with some, like, I think it was like the 9 ways for a combat scenario to go. It, I can't remember all of them. It's off attack, ambush, retreat. Talk is basically. Well, I'll do the combat first. I'm getting ahead of myself. Talk your way out of it, bluff your way out of it. Talk or bluff your enemies into fighting each other and not you. Um, Combat is basically surprise combat where they don't know you're there, and you get a surprise round off, taking out as much people as you can. Straight up combat like the brawl. And like running, there's also running away that can help. Like running away, just avoiding it altogether, or having one purposely know one person's there and having them follow him into an ambush by the rest of your party. And that's the way I kind of designed my enemies to be, my custom enemies, where there's different ways you can take them out. One of the times I had an army of orcs led by a sorcerer or spellcaster who wasn't really a sorcerer, and the players could sense that the orcs weren't really fond of him, and yet they also knew that they would not survive the spellcaster and the orcs together. So they actually paused for a while and said, "Let's try talking to him instead of attacking." And what they did is they managed to talk the orcs into attacking the spellcaster. And once the spellcaster died, there was still a substantial number of orcs, but but they don't have the players don't have to fight the spellcaster anymore. And then they had another challenge, which now the orcs just want to kill you. So what to do? And one of my spellcasters decided to use mirror image and created a dragon image in the sky, which scared the orcs into running away. Therefore, they did not get their hands dirty in any of the combat, but still managed to win the combat. And that, to me, as a DM, was an extreme success because I just enjoy having my players think of different ways to win a war or battle. And that's why I make a lot of custom enemies to get my people to think about what are they doing, how can they do this better or differently, or like why is this not working, we need to try something new. And my players seemed to like it because I could tell they were getting kind of tired where here's an enemy, just kill it. And they started to enjoy where like, sometimes we have to kill them just by brute force, but other times you can't, so let's try it this way. Or no, that way didn't work last time, let's try it this way. And my players really enjoyed doing that. They would come up with all these crazy strategies I never thought they would do just to test them out, see if they would work. And if you have custom enemies, that helps them along. Well, that's my opinion on custom enemies. Tell me how you feel. This has been Balanced Pyro.